Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bore him no children, and she had an Egyptian female servant whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said to Abram, because Jehovah has prevented me from bearing, please go into my female servant. Perhaps I will have children through her. And Abram listened to the voice of Sarai. So after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian, her female servant, and gave her to Abram, her husband, to be a wife. And he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said to Abram, may the wrong done to me be upon you. I gave my female servant into your bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. May Jehovah judge between me and you. And Abram said to Sarai, your female servant is now in your hand. Do to her what is good in your eyes. So Sarai dealt harshly with her, and she fled from before her. And the angel of Jehovah found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's female servant, where did you come from and where are you going? And she said, I'm fleeing from before my mistress Sarai. And the angel of Jehovah said to her, return to your mistress and submit yourself under her hands. And the angel of Jehovah said to her, I will greatly multiply your seed, so that it will not be counted for multitude. And the angel of Jehovah said to her, you have now conceived and will bear a son, and you shall call his name Ishmael, because Jehovah has heard of your affliction. And he will be a wild ass of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand against him. And he will settle down opposite all his brothers. And she called the name of Jehovah, who spoke to her, you are God, who reveals himself. For she said, do I even remain here after he has revealed himself to me? Therefore the well was called Bir Lahai Roy. There it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son, whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to Abram. And when Abram was 90 years old, or 99 years old, Jehovah appeared to Abram and said to him, I am the all-sufficient God. Walk before me and be perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and you, and I will multiply you exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, as for me, this is my covenant with you, and you shall become the father of a multitude of nations. Your name shall no longer be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham. For I have made you the father of a multitude of nations, and I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings will come forth from you. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you throughout their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and to your seed after you. And I will give to you and to your seed after you the land of your sojournings, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said to Abraham, and as for you, you shall keep my covenant, you and your seed after you throughout their generations. This is my covenant, which you shall keep between me and you and your seed after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised. And you shall be circumcised in the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a sign of a covenant between me and you. And he who is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every male throughout your generations, he who is born in the house or bought with money from any foreigner who is not of your seed. He who is born in your house and he who is bought with your money must be circumcised. Thus my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. But as for the uncircumcised male who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, that person shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. And God said to Abraham, as for Sarai your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but her name shall be Sarah. And I will bless her, and I will also give you a son by her. Indeed, I will bless her, and she will be a mother of nations. Kings of peoples will come forth from her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, will a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? And will Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? And Abraham said to God, oh, that Ishmael might live before you. But God said, no, but Sarah, your wife, will bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant for his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Indeed, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes will he beget, and I will make of him a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this appointed time next year. And when he finished talking with him, God went up with Abraham, or God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all who were born in his house, and all who were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin on the very same day, as God had said to him. And Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. On the very same day, Abraham was circumcised as well as Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house, those born in the house, and those bought with money from a foreigner, were circumcised with him. And Jehovah appeared to him by the oaks of Mamre, as he was sitting at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and there were 3 men standing opposite him. And when he saw them, he ran from the entrance of the tent to meet them, and he bowed down to the earth. And he said, my Lord, if I have found favor in your sight, please do not pass on from your servant. Please let a little water be fetched, and do wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And let me fetch a morsel of bread, that you may sustain yourselves. After that you may pass on, since you have come to your servant. So they said, do as you have said. And Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah and said, quickly prepare 3 measures of fine flour, knead it, and make cakes. And Abraham ran to the herd and took a calf tender and good, and he gave it to the servant, and he hurried to prepare it. And he took curds and milk and the calf which he had prepared, and set them before them. And he stood by them under the tree while they ate. And they said to him, where is Sarah your wife? And he said, there, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life, and then Sarah your wife shall have a son. And Sarah was listening at the entrance of the tent, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and advanced in age. It had ceased to be with Sarah according to the manner of women. And Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I have become old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And Jehovah said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I indeed bear a child when I am old? Is anything too marvelous for Jehovah? At the appointed time I will return to you, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied it, saying, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. And he said, No, but you did laugh. And the man rose up from there and looked down upon Sodom, and Abraham walked with them to send them away. And Jehovah said, Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Since Abraham will indeed become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him to keep the way of Jehovah by doing righteousness and justice, that Jehovah may bring upon Abraham what he has spoken concerning him. And Jehovah said, The cry of Sodom and Gomorrah, how great it is, and their sin, how very heavy it is. I shall go down and see whether they have done altogether according to its outcry, which has come to me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned from there and went toward Sodom, while Abraham remained standing before Jehovah. And Abraham came near and said, Will you indeed destroy the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous. Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you indeed destroy and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous who are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to put to death the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous should be as the wicked. Far be it from you. Shall the judge of all the earth not do justly? And Jehovah said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare the whole place for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, Now behold, I have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord, though I am but dust and ashes. Suppose the 50 righteous are lacking 5. Will you destroy the whole city because of 5? And he said, I will not destroy it if I find 45 there. And he spoke to him yet again and said, Suppose 40 are found there. And he said, I will not do it because of the 40. And he said, Oh, may the Lord not be angry if I speak. Suppose 30 are found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Now behold, I have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 are found there. And he said, I will not destroy it because of the 20. And he said, Oh, let the Lord not be angry if I speak yet once more. Suppose 10 are found there. And he said, I will not destroy it because of the 10. And Jehovah went away as soon as he had finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place.